What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. So today a new Super League format has officially been released and it seems to be way more interesting than the first format. It's gonna have 60 to 80 teams. There are gonna be no permanent members. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Is there gonna be a relegation system? Is there gonna be maybe a playoff relegation system? I'm not too sure. It's gonna be a multi-division competition, so I'd assume there's probably gonna be group stages and then, you know, your classic knockout matches, and each club will have a minimum of 14 games per season. Now obviously at the moment it's quite confusing, to be honest, because we still don't know a lot of information. How is it going to be? Is there just going to be a big table of 60 to 80 teams? Is it going to be perhaps divided by regions? I'm not too sure. As we know, the Super League is quite an American idea, an American competition. You have divisions or even groups, and like the NFL, you have divisions in the NBA, or to be more precise, you have conferences where after a full regular season you get into the playoffs where you finally get your winner. And the NBA, you have the East and the West, where obviously two teams face each other in the final. Obviously one of those teams coming from the East and one of them coming from the West. Whilst in the NFL they have an entirely different system. It's kind of hard to explain. Regardless, that's kind of the idea and the approach the Super League is trying to get, you know, trying to, I guess you could say, Americanize competitions, which makes sense because the whole objective of the Super League, at least in my opinion, is to gain as much revenue as possible. And obviously there has been a huge debate in the entire football community whether this is bad or whether this is good. I'm keeping it real. In the beginning I was kind of not really pro this idea because of the fact that, you know, it will kind of change the entire club competition system. Because if we go back to obviously the American competitions that kind of use the system, as I said before, the NBA, they've always had the system, whilst now it would be like totally changing the entire system of European football. But at the same time there's a lot of revenue to be earned, which can obviously lead to clubs having money to sign players, especially in leagues who don't really have a lot of money compared to the Premier League, like Serie A for example. And I feel like that's the whole reason why the entire Serie A community is pro this idea, because as we know, the Premier League make a lot of revenue, which makes sense. Obviously there's a global market for the Premier League, but overall I feel like most fans that aren't Premier League fans will probably agree with this idea, mainly due to the fact that teams don't have advantages in the transfer market due to the fact that they're making more money. I mean, how are other teams that aren't Premier League teams supposed to compete with Premier League teams? Hundreds of millions of pounds every single transfer window. I mean, just look at what Chelsea have done this January transfer window. It is absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you guys in support of the Super League, and do you think it will happen? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe for more of this kind of content. I'll see you in the next one.